Hey Fragrance family, I'm Daver and I'm a fragrance bro, coming at you again with another book review, this time on Perfumes the Guide by Luca Turin and Tanya Sanchez. This one is a very popular book in the fragrance world. You may have already heard of it, you may have already read it. And I came late across this book, and what's funny is their reviewing style is very similar to Fragrance Bros. So if you're familiar with us, if you subscribe to us and you watch our reviews, you kind of notice some similarities. We didn't realize that until after the fact, and they kind of have a different aspect of rating fragrances and reviewing it, a different personality, different point of view than we do. Ours is entertainment and accessibility and application of fragrances, whereas they talk about art and beauty and uniqueness of fragrances. So there's two different sides of the coin. About the authors, Luca Turin I'm very familiar with. Tanya Sanchez I'm not very familiar with, other than the fact that she married Luca Turin. Luca Turin, very notable scientist, noted for his popularization of the vibrational theory of scent, of olfaction. And I'll have to get into that another time. What is this book about? Well, it's about rating fragrances, obviously. They go through a lot of different houses and a lot of different fragrances and go through, give them a 1 to 5 star rating, tell them if they like it, love it, hate it, good, bad, ugly, everything in there. They've made a couple enemies, I think, with a lot of fragrances. And but I think overall, I think they did a really good job. Accessibility of reading. I think this is a very good book to read, an easy book to read, I think. For one, you don't even have to read this cover to cover, like I did not. I just went through and read all the ones that I was familiar with and didn't read the ones I was not familiar with for the fragrances. You know, I kind of read the foreword, introduction, etc., and then just read individual fragrances. I think it's written very well. It's written to where a general person can, even if they're not familiar with fragrances, can pick it up and understand what they're saying. And they really go into good depth about how much they love or hate a fragrance. My thoughts? Well, I liked it. There are some things that I have some real quibbles with. For one, it seems like there's a lot more negative reviews than there are positive reviews. And maybe they just have a higher standard for fragrances than we do. But having a lot of experience with friends and other reviewers in the fragrance world, it seems to me that there are a lot of people that really like fragrances more than these two do. I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy. And there's a couple of reviews I don't understand. Like, for one, he doesn't really like any Creeds except for Green Irish Tweed. And Green Irish Tweed is a masterpiece. I mean, it's really amazing. I think it's one of Creed's best. He gives that a 4. Now, he gives Cool Water a 5. Now, you know where I'm going with this. There is an obvious comparison between those two. And what's funny is everyone knows that Cool Water is a ripoff of Green Irish Tweed. But yet, and also too, that Green Irish Tweed smells more natural, smells generally better than Cool Water, even though they're very, very close. In our opinions, they're almost exact, except for the dry down. So that, to me, strikes very, very funny, that you love the knockoff, which is a sliver of the original, more than the original. So that kind of is a little strange. There are some other houses that he doesn't really like Le Labo, which I can understand. And there are some, houses that he really likes, like Estee Lauder. So I don't know if he was hand in hand with some of these or not. I kind of want to believe the best in him and them and say that they reviewed honestly. But I don't know. I don't know how they did it. So I don't know if they made friends or enemies on purpose before this or what. Who is this book for? I think this is really for anyone who wants to critique fragrances more seriously. I think this will sharpen your critiquing skills, first of all. And it will also teach you a lot about another person's perspective, another person's experience with fragrance, and how that culminates into a rating system. I also think that as a reviewer, I think that this is a must-buy. If you're a reviewer out there, if you're a collector, this may be a good buy for you. I'm not really sure. But you can always go to the library or go to a bookstore, and I'm sure it'll be on the shelf. So check it out for yourself. Final rating, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I think this is a really good book. It has a couple of flaws here and there with the rating system and everything, but overall I think it's a good book to own. Good coffee table book too. Like, this is on my coffee table just to hang around, and people can just thumb through and say, man, people get really serious about fragrances, and that kind of is a conversation starter. So that's all I got. Let me know what you think of Perfumes the Guide down in the comments down below. And of course, like the video if you haven't already, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. I'll see you next week or next time. I'm David with the Fragrance Bros. We'll see you later.